Hey guys, what's up? This is Scher talking. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is about some of the data mines and updates for Romancing SaGa Universe. I want to talk about this summer event that's about to come, and some other information was data mined on the SaGa Wiki Discord. First of all, on the news page we can see Tropical Paradise Great Arch. We can get some of the SaGa 30 anniversary tickets. We can get this summer polka that is an S style. That is kind of interesting because it has a steel blade, the same skill that Albert has. That increases his down chance. It's very nice to have this for polka, especially for those that got New Year's polka. And then we have a summer banner for SS Azami, also some other characters, Year's characters, but they are the most important thing about this. They got buffed. We'll be talking about these two characters later, and I'll also be making a review tomorrow. So, I want to talk about some specific stuff. Let's just go to the SaGa Wiki Discord. And the very nice guys called Daxim Alexandros and Hyder43 gave a lot of data mining stuff here to this page. We can check some information of what's about to come. It is always nice to prepare ourselves for upcoming events. Let's just go to the first image that was data mined. That is an image that it's supposed to be used for Wagner's attacks. It's another attacks event. This one should be a little harder than the past ones. Wagner's can do a lot of bad stuffs, like paralyze. I don't know if it can also charm, but there's a lot of things that should make this a very huge challenge for some people. Like before, there's 30 stages, and then you get a romancing on the after you beat all the 30 stages. Very nice. We'll be getting all the stages on the release. And then we have the information about the banner. You can see here is easier to understand. There's SS Azami. Liz is a character, well, she's a protagonist of the game. So she gets 2 more styles after this one, and they are super strong. This one here is good, very good in my opinion, even better now that it got a buff. But the next and future versions of Liz are so strong and they can benefit from skills that can be inherited from this version, that I really like this option here. I will be summoning for, but we'll be talking about more as we check some informations. Azami also got modded for the global version. She can now deal damage and counter on the same turn. That was not something that happened on her Japanese version. I think that's why no one was so much of a fan of the Japanese summer style from Azami. It was considered a side grade to the original Platinum version. But now she can be a little better for some situations, while still a side grade when you only need submission. And then we have Diana and Mikhail. Diana is a happier user, and Mikhail also. So, I don't know if we really need to use them to get the currency from the event. I think no, just got some bonuses. Interesting, we also getting triple gains from all the featured characters only on the event, and double gains on the story mode. That brings us to a lot of characters that are getting some buffs on this current situation. And, well, same stuff, 3 times drops once in a day for some stages, and then, okay, you can farm to get this version of Polka, and we'll be getting some more SaGa Anniversary tickets and bucks. That's always important. We really need more bucks. And then, for this event, we will also be having an event called Battle with Genryu. This is separate from the event, it will happen later, and it's super interesting. This Genryu is I think it's a boss from one of the old SaGa games. This boss is a dragon, a water dragon, that you can also summon in the future. Genryu becomes an ultra deluxe banner. It's super interesting. It's a dragon that uses water attacks, and that's why they are trying to sell this summer list, because she can build a wall against skills, normal skill damage, but also cold damage. She's super interesting for the fight against this boss. You can still survive and do without her. I will be making a video how to beat the dragon without using Liz, but Liz just makes it easier. And okay, we also have this information here with at least one of these applicable characters in your party, and you can get this bonus bow to draw. Well, I don't think it will be way better than the ones we have currently, but it's something that kind of helps you. If you want to get Liz from the banner, you need a water bow. Maybe that's a good chance to get a water bow here. And okay, more stuff, more there's a necessary, more silver pieces, more platinum tickets instead of the SaGa 30. The platinum tickets are important now because they are just adding all the platinum styles the Platinum banner without giving them a featured summon. They all are receiving the same drop rates. So it's hard to try to summon for Wagner's or for, say, Kaczynski, and, well, Platinum tickets become so important because of that. And even more bucks. I really want buck number 1. And okay, now we have, let's see here. I think this is another... This is just a login bonus screen, I think. Or just an image from the event. Another image from the event to get Wagner's as style. It's important if you're planning on getting SS Wagner's as well, but it will be very hard because it will be added to the Platinum just as soon as the event goes live. And okay, we have this more image here about the bow, using at least one of the featured characters. Nice. This is for the trade of the currency from the summons when you can PD a character. More information about logging. Okay. Wagner's logging. Another character that we missed. We didn't even talk, but she needed to be talked about is Annie. Tatiana will be so strong on release because, well, she kind of fits a lot of good strategies for now. I know that she kind of gets less usage in the future. She's a club user, and the A version that we got from Tatiana on Christmas was already okay. And then the S style from her was super strong that we got recently. And then this SS Tatiana is just a little better. But we have Leonid. Leonid at least got featured, but Wagner's and Annie didn't get it. But Annie is super good for stun strategy. She has a very high agility and having a nerd that has a very good chance of applying stun as well. Then we'll be getting the third round of SaGa Anniversary Festival. A lot of jewels. I think that is 2,000 or 3,000 jewels. But this time we'll be also be getting some bucks. Even more bucks. They are giving us a lot. This is a new loading screen with Sensei. But I don't think we'll be getting the SS version of Sensei yet. Okay, another image here just to stick on the home screen. Then we have more logging bonuses. That brings us to a lot of logging bonuses. Super nice. I don't feel like they are trying to reduce the logging bonuses because the Japanese version has a lot. And yeah, well, we'll be getting the episode 11 in 1 week from now. Double Training Cave as soon as the event lands. And also double waking material drops as soon as the event lands. That's a good opportunity to farm for some gold, either on episode 10 or by farming Fat Robbie. And if you still have lots of stamina potions, that is. Wagner's attacks, Genryu boss event, and Tropical Arch event. Genryu starts 2 days after the Tropical Arch event. So even though they are belonging to the same banner, they are different events, just like what we were getting now with Emilia. So this is about the Datamine, and also they are saying the episode 11 Welfare will be added on a later date similar to chapter 11, because we could farm old granny that uses wind spells, but she was added later after the episode was released on the Japanese version as well, like 3 to 4 months later. So they are probably trying to make the same thing from Global. They are releasing the chapter first, then they will update the chapter to also give a drop rate for these characters. Okay, now that we talk about all of the Datamine stuff, we need to talk about Liz and Azami. Well, this will not be easy because we need to check what changed in these characters. So let's just go here to Now website, and you can see that Liz has a lot of styles. All of her S styles can be gotten from Easy. You see, this S style here can be gotten from Platinum. This one, this one is from Story. And then we have this one here for Platinum banner. This one is also from Story. And then this one is the one that we are summoning now. And this later one is super strong. We need to check for her multipliers. You can see that on release she gets 99% modifier on intelligence. She beats even the latest version that just got released like past month on Japan. And then this one will be useful for a lot of time, but it's more targeted for single target damage. Liz has these 3 SS styles. Each one of them are targeted for different usages. The first one is a healer plus utility. The second one is a single target damage, and the last one is for AoE damage. So getting this one doesn't mean that it will get so power creeped. It's still useful for different situations. So this is interesting about Liz, and also I think about collecting all of her styles because we don't have many characters that can use bows. At least is, in my opinion, one of the best ones. Claudia is the other one that I think it's one of the best ones. I will be chasing Claudia and Liz styles. But without talking too much about the other styles, let's talk about what matters here. This is the version of Liz that we'll be getting. There was no information about any changes to her multipliers. She starts with Water of Life. That's important because it's a heal spell. She kind of has a very good love, but not awesome. At least it's very close to what Sophia has, in my opinion, I think. Let's just give a look. Gets up to 184 right now. 181, sorry. Let's just go give a look on Sophia. Sophia gets, let's see, 175, so a little more than Sophia, so the healing will be similar. Okay, so let's just get back to Summerless. Summerless. Okay, so the first one is a spell, so you really need a water bowl so that this healing becomes better. And the second skill is ID Break, and this is where this style starts becoming a little different than what we are used to when we have characters that are specialists. She tries to be too much. She has only 2 arrows for Dexterity because she wants to get more Dexterity for ID Break. ID Break is the only attack that it's based on Dexterity. And then she wants more Intelligence and also more Love. So she needs 3 status, and also she would need more Agility if she wanted to confuse the enemies before they attack. And also to use this last skill. The last skill is so amazing, but let's keep talking about ID Break. ID Break has a medium chance of inflicting confusion. And confusion can become very important depending on the fights. In challenges, if the enemy is not immune to confusion. She has a lot of intelligence, so even if it says medium, she will be affecting all enemies that are not immune to confusion. And the last skill is called Water Dragon Blasting. Water Dragon Blasting got buffed for global. It still has damage, but got reduced to 11 BP. That is amazing. I don't know if they will change the value because it's 36 power. It can be different on the global. Reducing this to 11 makes it possible to be reduced even further to 8 if you awaken it 3 times. An 8 BP skill for S damage and also with utility. It's amazing. She will create a wall for all the allies that are alive. That will reduce 15% of skill damage and also some more resistance against cold damage, but I don't really understand what it is here. I even shared that on my Discord channel and I couldn't understand. There's 5% to cold, maybe this is a guarantee, and also a second resistance that's between 20 and 30%. I'm not so sure, but it's 15% resistance to all skills. It's already very important. I searched between all the now website and I couldn't find any other spell that can grant you a wall that will reduce 15% of skill damage. And it's also for 2 turns because you see in fact 2 turns here. That's amazing. You can also use this on the first turn, second turn you use attack, and the third turn you can use this again for 4 turns effective against some bosses. That will be very useful, especially on Ganryo, because she was made for that. So this change alone makes her super interesting. All of these skills can be good for inheritance as well, depending on the style that you're planning to summon for. This one here is about single target damage. She doesn't have much dexterity, but she has very high intelligence, and then she can just heal. Can just nerd the healing spell, or also that other skill that gives the wall. So you see, very nice in this option here. He also has an 11 BP cost, but this is for damage. If you want utility, you can just use the other skill instead of this. And that also works for the last one. The last one can be used on AoE squads, but she doesn't have any healing. And then if you're just wanting to use on AoE farming setups, she may sometimes need to heal some of the dead allies, and then using healing spells may help you. So this is about Liz. I think she's super interesting. I will be talking about her on a review on a later date. But here I am just very impressed by this character. Let's just talk about the abilities. She can get HP on the start of the turn, just like White Rose. She also reduces incoming damage when she is on full HP. That is interesting because she will have a wall as well. The last one is just a chance to debuff the intelligence from the enemy. Can be useful, but not all the time, so I prefer something different, but it is what it is. And now let's just talk about the other style, that is Azami. Summer Azami also got buffed for global, There's no information about a multiplier. It should be the same. But then you see, there is a very important question about this character. Do you have SS Azami? Do you have a max at SS Azami? If the answer is yes, and there's another question actually. Do you also have submission that you could have inherited from this style here? If you already have this Azami with level 50 or close to it, with this submission, then you should not think too much about this Azami at all. Because Summer Azami also has a very similar setup if you want to use submission. I talked about on some of my past videos that Azami is super good for submission because the first skill uses 5 BP, submission can be reduced to 6, and then she will always use submission and ignore the first skill completely. Even more because the last skill has more than 10 BP on the coast. So she just becomes a submission machine forever in boss fights or in farming stages. But the problem is just that this character here has a little different setup. While the SS version is more focused on just getting even more damage, she has Brave Assault and Tension up 4, that is fired up 4. She gets more damage when she's on full HP and 15 more all the time. And let's just compare to the Summer style. The Summer style, you can already see that it's similar. It has the same 2 passives, only changing the first one. The first one, she can recover BP when she attacks. And I think it's better actually than this one from the Platinum version that we have, because she gets more agility when she attacks. That can be useful if you are using her on to try to avoid attacks as well. But more BP can help you, but there's also a problem. If you get more BP, she may even attack with the older attack. See, that can be a problem actually. If you want to just use submission all the time, getting more BP will change your attack order. You see, for manual it doesn't change anything, but for auto, well, it does change. So let's talk about what changed. It's just that she has this wave shooting attack. This is the same on the global. It's an enemy vertical line with cold damage. Does not have blunt damage. It's only cold damage. The damage should be a little higher because it's only a vertical line, but still useful for some farming. But the problem is that she will never use this on auto. Only if you make some very different setups, and also I don't know if you start with Jolt Counter and then try to use wave shooting after, but it's not very useful. And the last skill is called Jolt Counter. It was changed for global, and it now has a cold property, and will do damage with an S power instead of A, but we don't know the value. And also, after the attack, she will also counter the enemy attacks for 1 turn, just like this skill does. But this skill was only about the counter, but no damage from the activation of the skill. While the global version will have the damage from the activation from the skill with S damage, can be reduced to 10 BP, so you can use it on turn 1, and also damage from the counter. But what the game doesn't say, if the counter is still this much power. I don't think it is, I think they changed it. I'm not so sure, so that's why I'll be making a review tomorrow. Because when I saw on the Taiwan Facebook page of the Romancing SaGa universe, they posted a video that shows this attack in function. But when she countered it, I couldn't see any cold damage. I couldn't see just like the first attack. So that's why I'm saying that it's either this power here, but without the cold, or just a normal attack damage. I don't know. If it's this damage here, and she keeps with the S power by activating the skill and then more damage with counter, then she may be interesting. And you can see that she will avoid all the attacks that is coming against her for this single turn. It's more interesting than, say, Khalid, that Khalid counters but he cannot avoid. It's just like having parry for 1 turn, but with the chance of also dealing damage. But with a very high cost. Parry can get to 5 VP, and this Jolt counter can only get to 10. Double the cost, but also double the results. So yes, guys, I think this is it. I have this information about these characters. I think that Liz is useful because we don't have many options in the future that can reduce the incoming damage. She will have this very important skill, and I searched through all of now. There was no single spell that could just reduce incoming damage just like this one. There are abilities from future characters that will reduce incoming damage for surviving allies, but no spell like this one in the future. 15% decreasing damage is very high in a game like Romancing SaGa Universe, where Some of the enemies can deal like 1000 damage where you have only 900. That can make you survive for 1/3. I know that this may not seem like a lot, but in my opinion it is. Especially for hard challenges and bosses for some top content. So guys, this is it. Sorry, I will not be editing this video because I don't have the time for today, but I'll be making a live stream as soon as the update reaches and we can see the banner. As soon as the banner is alive, I'll be doing a live stream, so please join me today. We see each other on the next video. Bye.